One person. Yeah. One person, and I'm starting this because I gotta get my happy ass to bed. Okay, I'm finna start this real fast. What's up, what's up, what's up? This Jay Lavonne with the Chronicles, Red Cup and Brewing, all 2 weeks. How y'all doing today? So, tonight, I want to talk about, it's kind of my review, the Aaron Hernandez story, but it's not my review. Not really a review, but an opinion. So, last week or so, I watched the whole thing of Aaron Hernandez story. Because I was kind of fascinated about the whole thing. And they was talking about how he was killing folks, playing football, going to Super Bowl, all this stuff. But the one thing that I was happy about with the whole documentary is that they did not forget Odin Lloyd, the one guy that he killed. And they also brought the other murders that he may have allegedly done. So it's like, as I'm watching this, I said, okay, got a little fascinated. I feel very sorry for his little daughter, by the way, who is now 7. Pretty girl, too. So, they brought up this stuff about him playing football in school. Going to Florida playing football is when he snapped and punched some club goer in the face, whatever, because he wanted him to pay the tab. Now, he was getting drinks or whatever, even though he was 17, because if you looked at him, you would not think that he was 17 at that time playing football. Honestly, part of the reason I feel that he did the dumb shit that he did because he was too young, too immature to know what it really was to be a big football player and everything. Then, because of charges of him keep on smoking weed, his ass was 4th pick for the New England Patriots. So, my opinions is that if he wasn't so immature, I think he would have treated his career a little bit better. Like, what type of person would go kill some people and then go back to play the doggone Super Bowl? That is a world class A psycho. I would not want him in my crib. I would not want to be hanging around him. Do I think that he's a handsome man? Yes. He is very nice looking. Although they bring up the facts that he was gay. Or I would say bi, because he went on, had girlfriends and everything. But he had secret relationships with men. His girlfriend said something, and the guy he was with in high school said something. How he admitted to having affairs and stuff. But the important thing that I really want to bring up is this thing called CTE, which is a brain disease that's caused by a lot of contact sport, a lot of constant hitting in the head, because it's a mental disease. CTE is also one of the causes of dementia. And there were plenty of NFL football players who had CTE. When the brain is so disconnected, you can't think straight. It's like you can think, but you don't think like, okay, A, B, C, D. CTE, you probably think A to C, or maybe A to D, but you're going to skip B because certain parts of your brain is not there. That's why I call this topic Mental Green Hour. I should explain that I was going to talk about the Aaron Hernandez story, but sometimes I have topics for Red Cup Chronicles kind of make you think a little bit before the episode actually begins. So when he died, he was at 27. He had stage 3, which is the worst stage for somebody that damn young. Although CTE have 4 stages, and Junior Seau also has CTE, which led to him killing himself. Oh, ironically, Aaron Hernandez killed himself also. So Junior Seau shot himself so his head could be examined because he had a feeling something was wrong with him. And a lot of times when you have mental disorders, you get scared of getting help. You get scared of period because you know something's wrong, but you won't be shunned for having something wrong with you. Red Cup, right? Which why a lot of people are walking around here with mental disorders out their ass. So, yeah. Something is going on in that New England Patriots water. Both those players play for the Patriots. I'm not joking. Okay, that was kind of a cruel joke, but I noticed that both Hernandez and Seattle did play for the Patriots. Now, one of the first players that was truly diagnosed with CTE was this guy who played, I forgot his last name, but I know his name was Mike. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he played for some other team that I do not clearly remember. And I would like to talk about the Aaron Hernandez stories and link it to his CTE, because a lot of people out there with their head not right. I really believe if he didn't have CTE, or if he was mature to accept his blessings, he wouldn't be going out to Florida killing people, then go on playing Super Bowl. I'm just saying. And this may be a short episode, by the way, because I'm going to have to go to bed soon. So, there are a lot of mental cases going on. Instead of shunning people and shaming people for having mental cases, the one thing that I do like to do is talking to people. When you talk to people, you may not understand wholeheartedly how they feel, what they mean, and why they do the shit they do. But if you talk to somebody and you actually listen, you know a bit about them that you may find in yourself. And then you find something in yourself that you have about that person. Then it's called having a commonality. Having things in common when you could relate to each other. So with CTE, it kind of sparked my interest because it is a mental disorder. Dementia comes from CTE. All the constant hitting, whatever. And then they had a nerve to try to sue NFL. I'm not saying the NFL is not to blame because it's football. But if this young man have been playing football since Pee-wee, high school days, on to college when he went to Florida, on to the time he played for the New England Patriots, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put all the blame on NFL. And I wouldn't dare sue NFL for the whole CTE thing, because when you sign that contract to the NFL, you know what you're getting yourself into. And it shows that even though you wear those helmets, it doesn't protect you from mental disorder up there. It's like sometimes with people who have mental disorder, they put a veil over it. Although you try to cover it, if people do not see it, it is still there. So will I blame NFL? Fuck no. It's just that, like, you walking out the door, going to work. You know what you're getting into walking out the door, going to work. And sometimes when you walk out the door, going to work, grocery store, anywhere, it is so unfortunate you may not come back home alive. You may not come back home the same person you were as you walk out the door. So I found the Aaron Hernandez documentary very interesting. You should see it because interesting. And they had his family talking. They even had a friend of the guy that he killed, Odin Lloyd. So I understood the whole thing about that he shot those two people because they spilled the drink on him at a club, which I think is a very stupid reason to shoot somebody. But if you want to be a badass, have at it. I get it. So the one murder that I did not understand was why he killed Odin Lloyd. Allegedly, Odin Lloyd caught him in a very compromising act with another man. He's trying to hide his secret of being a homosexual. And they said that if he came out as homosexual, his daddy would have had it. And they also had different stuff. They also brought stuff pointing out how his dad used to molest. Not molest. Oh, I'm going into that in 1.1 milliseconds. So they brought up the fact that he was abused by his dad. The whole family was. His daddy had an iron fist when it comes to that family. They also say how he was molested by a male babysitter when he was younger. So instead of keying CTE to the whole football thing, let's go say he had a mental illness based on traumatic events that happened to him as a young child. And he never got to deal with it the proper way because, hell, we're human and we're Americans. Americans, we don't know how to deal with our problems the correct way. We always try to cover up or veil over our problems. I'm guilty of that myself. I could talk about that because I'm guilty of trying to cover my problems up, not really telling people what's wrong with me. When you should talk your problems out, and it's healthy to talk your problems out, by the way. So I would not say it was CTE that made him go cuckoo. That may be the major thing because they compare his brain to a normal 27-year-old brain. Eesh. That is horrible. I would not wish CTE on, I wouldn't wish anything on anybody, but CTE, when you can't function right in the brain, that Malcolm X said, honey, mine is a terrible thing to waste. Red cup. I gotta get the red cup run, baby. I would base all the dumb shit that he did was based on different traumatic events that he had as a child. I wouldn't blame it all the way on CTE. And it's unfortunate that he would have been 30 by now had he lived. Who knows? And they also said that, it's so much. I may seem scatterbrained. It's going to make sense once you watch this after this live. They also say that he killed himself. So, because of this old school law of Massachusetts, if you die before your trial or appeal, it's appeal. If you die before then, whether you kill yourself or not, you're considered a free person by the time you die. So I guess he did that to make people not see him as a convicted murderer. However, a few years ago, they lifted that law, and now he's still a convicted murderer, even at death, because they say, Massachusetts, a lot of people gonna try to die, so they could get their little sentence, get that shit expunged. Massachusetts say, no, we ain't gonna play that shit no more. I think he fucked it up for everybody in a way. Personal opinion. So when I watched this story, I became fascinated. I also was fascinated by the personality, different stuff with CTE, made me want to research it a little bit. If you want to watch something, watch that because it keeps the mind going. And the one thing you want with your mind is a very short mind. So imagine a person not having mind sharp enough to really think of functionalities throughout life. It's pretty sad. And the moral of this freaking episode is mental illness is real. And we should not point mental illness on just one thing. We should point on all the experience that person have throughout life. That year that you're born and that year that you die, have a dash in between it. Make it make sense before you leave this earth. We all gotta live, we all gotta die. With that being said, I may have to do this episode over if I get too fascinated with it. Those who watch, thank you. It was a very short episode. I just want to give my review of Aaron Hernandez and different stuff that happened within that man's life. Did I feel a little bit sorry for Aaron Hernandez? Yes, I did. Honest God truth, I felt sorry for him. I'm not condemning, I'm not condoning him killing those people. I'm not condoning him beating up that club owner back in Florida when he was 17, 18. See, he was beating people up, killing people all before he was 20. His head needed to be examined. Had he told someone when he was young that he was molested, that's when his head should have been examined. His head should have been examined when his dad was beating up that family. His head should have been examined when his dad died. Because they say when his dad died, it was a certain clique. Instead of playing in Yukon, he went all the way to Florida to play. And a lot of those people in Florida were scared for him going home, constantly checking in with his family about his weed habit. Yeah. A lot of things that people weren't really looking at. And that friend of Odin's who was saying, some wannabe gangster that was a football player, I understood his pain, because if you lose a friend to somebody like that, Would you want to pop off? Yes, the hell you would. Stop making an excuse for people fuck ups and understand the person that is that person. So I'm going to end it on this note. Got a job? Raise your red cup. Want to make $1.15? Raise your red cup. If you tired of people making excuses for mental illness, raise your red cup. People need to really, really examine a person before putting this thing called mental illness on them. Raise your red cup. See you. Love you. I'll think of another episode in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Love y'all. Thanks for watching.